recording. Hey everyone, this is OotiniCast episode 454. And I can hear that, so we're good. And that's me on the other channel here. So pausing the other the Twitch channel, and we are. Let's see, this is the 454th episode. It's on the 20th of December 2022. So this is going to be the last episode of this year. It's also on the 11th anniversary of SWTOR, so that's pretty cool. And we'll talk a little bit about that, although there's not much to say, necessarily about that specifically, although SWTOR had a nice little bit of information, so we can talk about that later. But anyway, we'll get the actual podcast going here in a little bit at the top of the hour probably. And we will then, that'll be the real version of the show, which it's going out on Twitch, and then we will put a slightly, updated version as needed, or cleaned up version out as an audio podcast. Polished, yes, exactly, tomorrow. Let me go ahead and send out the info that we are live. Okay. Let's see. Let's see, 454. TV/OotiniCast. Okay. Sweet. Oh. All right. And then let me go ahead and do something here.
Retweeting.
Sweet.
This huge effort to change my cam location, and now I'm like, I don't know.
Now you're not even sure you like it? That's funny.
It's just ridiculous.
Let me go ahead and move this down. So this is, yep, mic looks good. And Kitty, everything's pretty much ready. I mean, we have a couple minutes before the top of the hour, but yeah, we'll just vamp just a second here, so that we can make sure that we're actually going at the top of the hour, not before.
Chat.
But yeah, last episode of the year, 11th anniversary of SWTOR. Who'd have thunk it, right?
Where time is moving quicker.
Mm-hmm. Of course, with an MMO, you always hope that it, has legs, because it's not like, it's not like a shooting game that's going to get replaced or anything like that. It's, MMOs are designed to be added on to and continue on.
Right.
So this is great.
That's one of the reasons I like MMOs, is because they kind of evolve.
Did you hear the news also about what's going on the PTS right now?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, we'll be talking about that. I'm excited about that too.
Because I have a couple questions for you.
I'll do what I can. They haven't exactly released a ton of information. I even looked at the forums, and they're just, it hasn't really gotten any, started. It just started, and people are even having troubles getting into it and stuff. So, because it's so new and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, but there's still definitely some things to say about it anyway. Let's see. Actually, also, I think
I don't even know if I have a 64-bit.
Oh, I'm guarantee you will. Yeah. Like they said, the last full
future proofing.
Yeah, the last full 32-bit, CPU was sold in 2010 or something like that.
Oh, maybe I do have a 64.
So you must have a 64, because I know your computer isn't that old.
Yeah.
Okay, it's only 20 seconds till the top of the hour, so we're going to get going here in just a sec. Okay. Yeah, so, and I've been enjoying 7.2 a lot. We'll be talking about that in a sec.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
Stretch your mouth.
Yep, exactly.
Do your mouth stretches.
Going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast, the podcast that you're carrying inside your rusty innards. This is episode 454, being recorded on Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. I'm your host, Chill. With me is my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty.
Hello, Chill.
And let us know what you've been up to since the last episode.
Well, I played the new content, and I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I was very surprised, and there's no spoilers, surprised at how much content there actually was.
Yes, actually, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I was thinking that I was hoping that it wouldn't be a bunch of those meetings that, that you have with the NPCs. It was jam-packed, especially for a 7.2 point and then a number.
Well, it was 7.2, so.
Or 7.2.
Yeah.
But it's just.
But it wasn't like
a lot.
It wasn't an expansion drop, for instance. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't.
Yeah.
It felt like a small expansion.
Right. Kind of like how Ziost felt or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I really like the way it looks. I think that it's
Runic is a very cool planet. Yeah. I like all the gullies and stuff.
Yeah, it's very different. Mm-hmm. Geologically, you're in the valleys, or you're up above,
right.
And
a lot of narrow places. Like there's not a ton of like narrow places in SWTOR, but this feels very narrow in a lot of places, which is interesting.
And I really like it. Like it feels, it feels like kind of tense when you're in that squished space, and I think it's great. And then just a bunch of the maps way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, really exactly, and a little tricky to get around in sometimes. Yeah. Like if it's like, oh, okay, that's the river area, but it turns out it's like, yeah, but there's like a lot of river areas, and it's not always the one I think it is.
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out. Like I haven't figured out, for example, like the most efficient way to do the dailies and stuff like that. So
I haven't. I did the dailies once, right after I did the story, and that takes a little while though. You got to figure out the shortest distances to to get to what you can quick travel to and all that. But it's cool, and the armor set in particular for that is great.
It is nice.
It looks really, really good. Nice.
Yeah.
I started a new tune a little while ago.
Oh.
He is a Dr. Loken clone, which is Kitty plays a character that her main sidekick is Dr. Loken. Mm-hmm. So our little RP story is that I'm a clone of that Dr. Loken.
Ah, okay. So, that's cool.
So her characters are my dad's.
That's cool.
And sometimes we run together. I'm like, Dad.
Is he an agent like Loken is, or?
No, he's a Sork.
Oh, interesting.
So she went and got him, with the alerts, and picked him up that way. So there's a whole kind of rat ghoul theme to it, and I've got a little rat ghoul pet, and I've got the rat ghoul goo that comes off of your hands, and
I love it. Yeah.
It's really cool. It's really fun. It's really fun. What else? But we've been adding stuff to the stream. Kitty's been getting into making animated, little animated things that we can add to the stream. And
that's cool.
That viewers are going to be able to redeem for the channel points and stuff like that. And she's like going crazy. She really loves it, and they're really cute and kind of goofy because that's us, goofy. So that's been really, really fun, and I can't wait for people to see it.
That's really cool. Yeah. And then you're doing the big one on Christmas, is that right?
Yep, we're doing a big stream on Christmas. It's going to be a subathon, and we're starting at 7 a.m. Pacific time.
Nice.
However, we've recently got the last 2 days that we streamed, Saturday and Sunday, people have been so generous and so just very, very generous with like bits and subs and stuff like that, that we both feel kind of weird about doing a subathon. So we might just do 12 hours and be like, you guys have already been so kind that we're just gonna do the 12 hours because I feel like it's pretty greedy to try and, you know, squeeze,
I understand,
you know, more money out of people. I feel like a jerk if I did it. And I think that one of the reasons why people have been so generous is that I proposed to KittyKissz or Kitty Treats.
Yay!
And she said yes.
Aw, that's great.
We had talked about it for a while. We know we've been talking about it, but we were live streaming and it was kind of brought up and I just went, screw it. I'm just going to go for it. And I asked her and she said yes.
Wow. On the stream. That's bold.
Yeah.
with no like, you know, guarantee or anything, you know, I mean, obviously things are going well, but
right. Well, we had talked about it a little bit before, so I was pretty sure she was going to say yes, but
yeah, that's sweet.
She didn't know how to ring.
So you have a little stream story about it now.
Yeah. And it's on, you know, it's
recorded. Yeah.
It's recorded.
And you got to go back and make sure you get a clip of it so it stays permanently. Yeah.
Yeah. We're
throw it up on YouTube even maybe. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think we're going to get it and kind of, there's one part where I asked her, she says yes. And then later on, I'm like, I have a ring too. And I went and got the ring and gave it to her. And it's a family heirloom. And so it was like,
that's sweet.
It was very sweet, and I love her very much. And I don't think that there's anybody that enjoys farts as much as me, or maybe even more. And I,
except for her,
had to put a ring on it.
That's funny.
So, yeah, it's weird. We are so much alike. It's absolutely crazy.
That is awesome.
Like, when we first started dating, and she came to visit. She was like, "Do you have any deodorant?" And I go, "Yeah, we use the same deodorant." And that's just one of 100 things that we have so much in common. It's crazy. So, but
that actually is pretty rare too, because I mean they're so sort of gendered, basically, among other things, you know. But yeah,
it's weird. I mean, there's so many things. It's ridiculous. But we joke around that we're brother and sister. And that's good. We're getting married. But anyway. There's other stuff going on in my world, but I think that
obviously
that's
the highlight, of course.
Yeah, that's the highlight. I can't do any better than that, Jill. I'm sorry.
How
pass the baton to you.
That's great though. So for Dr. Loken, are you like leveling with one of Kitty's characters, or is she making a new character, or?
No, she comes on during the weekend.
I see.
Because we dual stream on the weekends, and she'll come in and help me out with flashpoints and stuff like that.
Okay, so cool.
I'll play with her every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny.
That's great.
I'll take pictures in different places that, you know, there's a whole backstory that she has. In fact, she's making a website that has all the backstory and stuff like that, in little short snippets and stuff. So
that's cool.
My character will be taking a picture, you know, in a spot that has some sort of lore in our backstory, and it's fun.
I definitely like the Sork angle. I mean, I definitely think like if Loken had been force sensitive, he would have definitely been a sorcerer. So.
Well, she's not a clone of Loken. I'm playing a marauder.
Right.
But her main that's friends with Loken is a Sork.
Oh, okay.
So he's not really force sensitive, so he has to kind of fake it. He's a masochist. It's really funny.
That's awesome.
Also, I'm playing the Loken character that he's crazy. So he'll flip-flop on story questions, and I've been letting group choose. I'll go, all all right, I need a roll, you guys, and whoever has the highest number gets to choose the reaction or the what I choose during the storyline, and it's been really, really fun, like having people do it because you never know what people are going to do.
Yeah, I'll bet you've seen some stuff that you haven't seen before that way too, because like regardless, even if you've done the story light, the story dark on a male character, female character, or whatever, like. But flip-flopping is pretty rare. And then like what happens if you like do like the light side stuff going into a conversation and then you start swapping and doing like the dark side or whatever.
Yeah,
I'll bet you've seen a few things that like you wouldn't normally see like ever.
Yeah, I don't think I've come across anything I haven't. Oh wait, no, I take that back. There was something I hadn't seen. I can't remember exactly what it is, but there was something I remember going, oh, I don't remember seeing this before. So yeah, it's really fun. I'm having a good time with it.
All right. Is there anything else then?
No, that's it. Chill.
Okay, we'll go to the let's see what the show's for the viewers. Let's see. So Twitch is showing us 24 is here, Donnie Dumpy, Drapsnat, Eddie YMGC, Kitty Treats is here, Lord Melts is here, Niner Ramacad is here, Sly Fox Martin, Squishy Twitchy, and the Gallifreyan Legacy are all here. Hey everyone.
Hi
guys. Let's see. What I've been doing is, well, of course, last week I did a ton of Runic. Got all the story done on both my mains. That includes like, the story all the way through Shay's big moment, Shay Vizsla's big moment, and then like the stuff after that on Runic. Lots of gearing to go. I kind of started on my tank gear, but then it's like I kind of quickly realized it's so much faster to do it on a stealther. Like almost every place, like stealth will be handy here or there. On Runic, it's like you literally can do it in like half the time if you stealth, because you have to do many fights otherwise. Yeah, especially if you're doing the heroic areas and stuff like that, because you're gonna have to wade through all this stuff. Otherwise, it's crazy.
Right.
So stealthing is really, really handy. So I quickly swapped, so I have a few pieces on my tank gear that's upgraded, but I'm now working just on the damage gear. We'll work on that first and get that done. So on the tank, I think I got like 3 pieces done before I decided to do the damage gear, and now I've got like 4 on them, and I've got enough points to get 1 or 2 more, but I haven't actually gone back to the fleet again. Nice. So, not even halfway through the damage gear. And we would be probably halfway through if I'd done all of it on one set, but that's all right. Nah. Yeah, exactly.
They're going to change it eventually anyway, so no rush.
Yeah, exactly. And I did the dailies twice on each character plus the story, and doing that, I actually ended up with tons of extra Runic rep items. So today on that one character, I just went through the items and I maxed out, and I haven't even set foot on Runic yet. so there's like tons of rep to be gained on Runic. I'm just going to be capped out all the time apparently for a while. So I will get more Runic dailies done just because it's fun, but and because I do want eventually to get the reputation cap and blah blah blah. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how much.
Decos are great. I really like those decos. Any kind of.
There's a lot of decos. Yeah, some that drop for you, and then you can.
That doesn't have a pot to it, Just,
you like that?
Looks like it's growing. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those, so that's you're gonna be happy. Let's see, and also I did the full extra 3 bonus missions on Runic on my Empire main, but not yet on my Republic one. It's like this thing you pick up in your main sort of base, and it's like a whole series of things that you have to do. And then when you do the first one, it gives you a second one, but you also get this thing that you can click on in the base that gives you a buff.
Oh, right.
So it's like one of them's like extra damage, and I can't remember what the second one is, but the third one is a booster. Like, and if you see one of these circles, then if you have this buff on you, when you run over it, you can then activate your special ability on. It's like on the special bar, like the hut ball bar, right. And that circle will boost you up in the air. So I'm looking forward to seeing, now that I have it on one of my 2 characters, like how much faster the dailies go once I have these buffs, because I'll be doing more damage, but also like there's certain places there's this one spot where you have to fight your way through just to finish the mission. Like you finish the mission, but then they make you put the information out in the air, but you have to be in this certain spot, and you have to fight your way to it. But right below it is like one of the platforms for one of the like one of the bases, and it has a circle on it. So presumably once you have that buff, you can just jump up there, and then instead of having to wade through it. So it's gonna be great.
Adding an extra dimension.
Yeah, exactly. And I assume that I'll be able to figure out more ways to make the dailies go quicker. Because right now, especially with doing the heroics as well, they're not very fast. It takes a while, and like it really kind of, especially some of the missions, like really make you kind of run all over. And I'm not anywhere close to like sort of figuring out exactly how, what order I want to do everything in.
Right.
So it's pretty rough.
That takes a little while. Fine-tune it.
Yeah, exactly. So. However, while I was doing one of these bonus missions, I found this weird spot, and it's like I was looking for this guy in this area, and I thought, okay, well, maybe they hit him in this area. It's like this really narrow, like not even just narrow like we were talking about where the canyons are, but like just like a slit in the rock that you can barely squeeze into.
You have to go sideways through.
Practically, yeah. And I figured after a while, it's like, okay, the guy's not here. And then I figured, oh, this is the Datacron. This is going to be the Datacron run. Oh. And it turns out it was. So yeah, so if you find this like little slit and you go up there and there's some weird plants and stuff in there, like that's the start of the Datacron run. And I was happy that I did have to look at a guide for the Datacron just to make sure of the one thing at the very beginning, and that was you have to have all 3 buffs. Like you have to have these buffs because you have to have the 3rd one to actually complete the Datacron run. So because I was only on the 2nd one, I was like, okay, well, I can't do the Datacron run right now. I'll finish it later.
Good you knew that. Though.
Right. But other than figuring out what that, that fact was, which is that you have to do these special bonuses. So you have these buffs. You have to have the jump buff, basically, is the one that you really have to have for it. But other than that, I figured it out entirely on my own, which was fun because I kind of now I knew like where it started. That was clearly where it started, and once I had the jump buff, it's like, okay, that's clearly how I do that. And then it's like, it jumped me over. And then it was just a question of like figuring out where you go. And it's not the hardest one in the game to figure out on your own. So I would say just try to figure it out on your own if you can, or at least maybe find out where it starts and then figure it out. Because it's a lot of fun. So that's my tip of the week, actually. Cool. That's awesome. But it's really fun. It's a fun little Datacron run to do. The little missions, they definitely take a long time. Like I was getting a little frustrated with it because actually I did on my first character and it's like, this doesn't seem to be working. I actually reset it and it took me all the way back to the beginning of that one, and it's like, and I have to redo it. So I haven't done it I'll do that this week sometime and get it all done. But especially the Datacron was actually really cool.
That's cool.
As far as other stuff goes, I've got my James Bond character. He's a bit further through Kotfi. He's almost to the Alliance. I didn't really get that much done, but that's all right. It's all good. And it's actually really fun. It's actually, it feels very James Bondian. Actually, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And also today, we're on the 11th anniversary of SWTOR. Yay! So congratulations to the SWTOR folks on making a game that's lasted so long and is still ongoing. And they do have a collection sale starting today, and we'll go over the details of it later. But today, just before the show, I burned down over 3,000 CCs getting unlocks. And it's part of it is just, buying something for one character and then, and then wanting to unlock it and everything. And then, of course, we also have the Galactic Seasons, which are throwing like lots of all these silver and gold and even the bronze crates, opening them up. And then a lot of times I'm, unlocking them on a character. And now it's time to do the sale, because it's like, this is when you want to unlock it. But I wasn't able to quite unlock everything. So I've got to figure out a way to get a few more CCs before that goes away. But we'll do that soon. So yeah. So this is the time. If you've been waiting for the CC sale, it's on right now. And I think I don't want to say what the end date is without looking right at the note, because we just learned about it like today. Yeah. But we'll talk about it later in the show. Yeah, exactly. It's not too long. It's like less than 2 weeks, I think. So we already did the tip of the week. If you have a tip of the week to send us, send it to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next show for a chance to win a Tonfon M83R Droid pet code or an M2B9 pet code, plus a 450 CC code, all courtesy of BioWare. Thank you, BioWare.
Yeah,
that'll bring us...
that's 450 cartel coins, you guys. So go to OotiniCast@gmail.com and throw a tip in there.
All right. That'll bring us to the Mind Trap. And so what we asked was, what are you going to do for most importantly during Life Day? And so Life Day is ongoing. It's been ongoing for a little bit now, and it's going to go a little bit longer. And the choices were Wookiee hugs and other Life Day stuff, runic activities, cartel stuff and unlocks, and PvP, since PvP was a big part of 7.2 as well. We had 464 votes, pretty good amount of votes. We were definitely boosted. It helped when SWTOR itself was nice enough to retweet us, and that definitely gave us a lot more votes, which is awesome. And of course, thank you to everyone who retweets. And so the winner was Wookiee hugs and Life Day stuff. So people are putting some premium on doing that stuff during the event. 36.9% of the vote. Runic activities was 26.9% of the vote, and that's the one I decided to choose. I will always do a little bit of event stuff, but I rarely push myself. Like, I still don't have the Wookiee hug achievement. I have snowballs on my 2 mains, Wookiees? So I'm throwing snowballs. I'm not even sure if I have the lower level Wookiee ones. I've hugged them a few times, and it's like, okay, I've done enough of this. I just kind of wandered away. Yeah, exactly. But Runic did take second with 26.9% of the vote. Not too far behind him, though, was Cartel and Unlocks. So people are really looking forward to the new stuff that came out with 7.2 for the Cartel, but also the Unlocks that is now done, that's now active. And PvP came in fourth with 13.4% of the vote. So not to say that there aren't more than that PvPing, but those are the ones who, for them, that's like the main thing they want to do during this period of time.
Spread out.
It was, yeah. And kind of a rare one where it actually is in the same order that I actually put them in. So yeah, and which one did you vote for then, Kitty?
I put Cartel Unlocked.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I wait all year to do it, and I save up my Cartel coins.
Right.
I buy more Cartel coins just so I can do it.
There you go. So that's big for you.
I mean, we haven't heard anything about it, but I'm hoping that they would put some more sales up, and one in particular that I want is a sale on unlocking your costume slots, because I gotta get more of those.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if that's considered a Cartel one or not, but yeah. It's a CC one anyway, Cartel coin one anyway, if it's not quite Cartel. We also we are starting to put out these polls on Mastodon as well. We did get a couple of votes, but it wouldn't have really affected the thing. Mastodon is just sort of taking off for us as a place for folks to be. But we will be continuing to put out the Mastodon, the poll on Mastodon as well as Twitter. So if you prefer Mastodon, you can vote there as well. And let's see, so what some of the people who said, primarily I'm going to try to take my Valor 60 Sentinel and try to get him closer to Valor 100 during double XP event. It's true, because with the extra Valor, Valor 100, like on any character, because you only get it on the one character, you don't get it, account wide or anything like that. It takes a long time to get there. It really does. I just have to get him new gear, but I'm going to try to work on my Runic and Manon rep and try to finish one of my class story re-recordings. So this is for Alex Geslin. He's doing some re-recordings of class story stuff. That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, let's see. And Graham said, I'd do story and daily area and return to my usual bit of everything. Nowadays, I seem to spend more and more time tidying cargo and legacy banks.
Right.
Digital clutter, almost worse than housework. What to keep, what to throw away. It's very time consuming. I need a cleaner droid.
A little a cartel or a cargo bay Roomba.
Yeah, I got... I had some room for a while, and then it's like I decided, you know what, all those things that you get from the crates from the four leaders in the Alliance, and you get the gear, and it has these sets of gear that you can get.
Right.
And, and there's still like chunks of most of them that, I've managed to unlock a few and sort of get rid of those. So when I do get them and I unlock them, then I can just kind of get rid of that set. But I still have it's still taking up to like two bays in my bank, Alt's main like personal cargo hold. So, so, and then it's like, it's in some ways though, it's like, it's nicer because like in times past, I usually had multiple things for like gear in the legacy bank. Now that's very, very minor. Once upon a time, of course, there was like all the crew skill materials, thank God that's gone. There's a separate one for that. Thank goodness. Yeah. Or else it'd be 10 times worse than it is.
That was such a great day.
Yeah, it really was. It's kind of and at the time it felt like great. I will never have this problem again of being completely full, and I'm
2 days later.
Full. No, it took me a while, but I'm there now for sure. And let's see, PvP for the most part, mixed with runic dailies. Let's see, I got to finish my Darkside Consular Kotfi run runic story multiple times, and do seasonal objectives. Shintar said all of the above plus seasons, so
nice.
And seasons on top of Life Day for Hellbore Arts as well. So yeah, lots of people saying lots of stuff. How are you doing on your season, by the way, Kitty?
I just hit 3/4 of the way through. I'm just over 75.
That's roughly where I am too, and I'm about on the late 40s or early 50s for the other servers where I'm just doing like log on type stuff.
Oh man,
it's amazing how much you can get just by logging on, doing 25,000 a day, making sure you get the 200,000, and then occasionally doing little bits of other stuff that you want to do, because it's pretty easy because you're doing all these missions to go in and get 1,000 rep. When that one's available, stuff like that.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Cool. And that brings us to the holo feed. And let's see. So, since the last show, they had the winners of the Best View and SWTOR contest. So, congratulations to everyone who won that.
Congrats.
The pictures are on both the SWTOR site. We also put them in our show notes. But yeah, they're all really gorgeous. The Alderaan one is great. They timed it well with the critter flying overhead.
Yeah,
it's always nice to see. A really nice one of Coruscant with it really makes the air look like kind of gritty and dirty. You see the capital ships overhead.
Right.
Really, really beautiful on that one. Drum and Cost was nice. A lot of them were nice. The Hoth ones had the spikes. The parts of Hoth that have like the big spiky sort of fingers.
Oh, right, yeah.
I also really like the Iocath one. Really nice with the parts with the lasers that kind of go around the floor, kind of giving a little bit of color. The Manon one was cool. They chose that sort of big rectangular area that has like the force field that sort of is kind of wavy overhead, and then he panned up so you can actually see, or he or she, I don't know, Pleto. He or she panned up so you could see like the sort of the wavy screen sort of holding the water at bay above you. Really nice there too. Adessen was cool. They managed to get a lightning strike in there, which is really nice.
How long that took?
I don't know. I think it repeats semi-regularly, but getting that as a screenshot is pretty tricky. And then even the Quesh one was pretty cool. It has like some of the dirty water and like some of the buildings and the plants and stuff. I like that Quesh one. Yeah.
It looks. I like the having that hut building in the back there.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Star Warsy.
Right, exactly, and it is it's a very classic hut look for that building too. Rishi, one of the crashed vehicles sort of seen, and the jungle is sort of claiming it, all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Terrace, and that's one of the crashed ships as well. It might even be the one from that's originally from KOTOR.
Oh, what was that called? The Endar Spire?
Endar Spire, yeah. I think that might be part of the Endar Spire, but I'm not 100%. But it's one of the it's like an actual ship that crashed onto Terrace. And beginning with the 11-year anniversary event, each screenshot will be implemented in the game as frame decorations that we purchase for your strongholds. And the lucky winners will receive special gilded versions of their winning screenshot via in-game mail, which is really cool. So, and then it shows like really kind of the difference of what they kind of look like. So you can see like what the kind you can buy, and then the winners have like this fancier version with like little bits of extra decoration around the framing, which is really cool. Yeah, and that's awesome because like there's only one person in the game who can have those. That's really cool.
It's really cool.
Let's see. So then there were some Cartel Market editions when 7.2 came out. Mm-hmm. I noticed the Pikes and Syndicate armor set. That's the first one that shows on this list. It has a really funky helmet.
It's like a Pike helmet.
Yeah, it's called Pike Syndicate, and it's it's very weird but very cool. And it feels very Star Wars too. Did you? Nice.
Yeah, I was just like, doink.
The Outer Rim Drifters armor set is really nice too. It has a very classic sort of cowboy shape to the hat.
Like a Cad Bane.
Cad Bane, right. It's very sort of Man with No Name-ish sort of style hat, where it is, it's vaguely Stetson-like, but it's sort of almost straight-sided. It's that kind instead of like the other kind of Stetson hat that has more like the little dimples in front and stuff like that. This one's more the straight-sided kind. Very classic though. It still adheres to the rule that it covers up the hair. Unfortunately, for me, that's still kind of a problem. But I understand why they don't do it because there's too much clipping otherwise. But it looks very cool, and the outfit looks really nice too. Like
it does
with the heavy, sort of the heavy leather boots and and the
munitions,
the leather, the sort of the duster jacket sort of style.
What's really cool about this set is that if the belt goes on the inside, usually some of the majority of jackets and stuff, the belt will go on the outside of the jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's the belt that does that or if it's the jacket that does it, but I'm going to be buying that too because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Big
so you
deal
actually
in Nightmare Space Barbie.
Right. So you actually have the jacket when you're looking at it from the back. You're not
exactly
strapping it in with a big old belt of some kind. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Master Oar's armor set, pretty classic Jedi look, but with a couple of differences. So like it only goes around a little bit more than halfway, and then there's like a little sort of tabard sort of thing in the front. So it's definitely worth checking out if you're interested in Jedi looks that aren't just yet another exactly the same robe. Let's see, the Recon's armor set. Recon is a character you meet during the Runic story. And the armor has Twi'lek, armored Liku, yeah, or Liku. I'm not sure if it's pronounced Leku or Liku, but I always pronounce it Leku, but it might be Liku. Anyway, the Liku or whatever are hanging off, and it actually happens like that even if you're not a Twi'lek, which is kind of cool. So you can like have like a disguise. Yeah, exactly. Make everyone think you're a Twi'lek, but actually be, a human or whatever. Yeah, the ceremonial Beskad blade is also one of them, and that you also see during the Runic story for sure. Mm-hmm. In fact, they have kind of a close-up on it in a couple of points.
Yeah.
So you'll know exactly what it looks like. There's also Recon's Vibro Axe.
I love that thing.
Yeah, very, very nice. It's always nice to have something that's not, that's not just another straight, lightsaber.
Right.
There is, however, a lightsaber, Master Oar's lightsaber. It looks very nice. If you're looking for a lightsaber, it's definitely one to look at. And then they have Life Day snow globes, which have like little buildings and stuff in them from different parts of the worlds. R4, Manon, Elam, and Runic. So they have ones for those 4 areas.
Helmets and droid heads. They're only, I think they're only 100 cartel coins too. So,
okay.
If you're interested in, nab them up. They're really cool looking.
Yep. And then there's a Power Station decoration bundle, which is interesting because there's not like a lot of things that I would think of as necessarily power station-y.
That's exactly what I thought. I mean, is the power station like a famous bar?
Yeah, exactly. TCY power station.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of tables and chairs in it. It looks bottles. They're nice though. They're nice. Yeah, and right, the big table and one of the other tables has like some actual like plates and bottles and stuff on it. Anyway, so 7.2 is now live. We've kind of gone over that before though. So there is also a Snare short story. So in the last dev stream, it was mentioned that they'd written a couple of stories. We have had one already, and this is the second one. It's called Snare. It's also about Shay Vizsla. She's hunting down some more, and she ends up more or less being pointed towards Runic. So it's sort of like stuff for Shay that happens right before the Runic story. So it's actually kind of handy. It's not necessary to know for the for 7.2 story, but it's kind of cool to kind of fill out that some of those details.
Yeah, that's a really creative way of adding the story. I like that a lot.
Let's see, and we've got we've kind of gone over this on the last show, so we're going to skip past that. Let's see. So we get past this too. Okay, so after 7.2 launched, then there was a bug with the new PvP rewards track. So basically the people who started doing stuff on the very first day logged in on the second day and found out that their progress had been erased.
Ouch.
Yeah, and at first, like when they said there was going to be a fix, I kind of assumed that, they had kept that progress and, on file, and it was just a question of getting it to show correctly. Turns out that wasn't quite right, though. They did do sort of a background fix to sort of make it so that progress would be remembered correctly, and then they did one, and then they did a full sort of restart of the servers to put this little patch in, and then progress would continue after that. And it did sort of remember stuff from the second day, but for people who unfortunately made a lot of progress on the first day, it unfortunately got wiped, which sucks. Fortunately, like I said, they have the rest of the week to do it again, but still unfortunate. It does seem to work now. I haven't seen any other indications of progress not being kept track of correctly, so that seems to be good. Let's see, Jackie Ko did put out something about lockdowns. Some people were saying that they felt like the lockdowns were happening, like they were too long or whatever. But anyway, they're trying to minimize the number of times a player drops out of a match, and the player experience should be as follows, Jackie says. So leaving one match should be a 20-minute lockdown. Leaving 2 matches is then a 1-hour lockdown. Leaving 3 matches is a 6-hour lockdown. And the reason she was clarifying this is because some people said that they left for whatever reason, and then they got a full hour lockdown on the first time. So Ouch. She was saying, like, if this is not your experience and you're going through a 1-hour lockdown first, please confirm that this is a bug, and then we'll look into it. So if that is not working as intended, please let them know so that they can figure out why it's jumping right to the second penalty instead of the first one. Yeah, because 1 hour, 20 minutes is already pretty good amount of time.
That's a long time
in PvP to be locked out. So jumping right to an hour is, of course, way worse. And let's see. And lastly, it's possible that these timers might be adjusted or can be adjusted in the future based on the feedback we see and the data collected off of player behavior. Still, personally, it's like because like when people leave, it really does kind of mess up the people who are left. Like if it's an 8v8, and like 2 people leave, you're basically guaranteed. Even if one person leaves, you're kind of guaranteed. But if 2 people leave, like you're basically guaranteed that the other people are going to roll over you. Oh yeah. So, so it's good that there's some relatively tough penalties for this, and it's unfortunate though that like if you get disconnected, like if you're if for some reason your modem fritz and you get dumped out of the game, you won't be able to get back into it, and then you'll also be locked out. It's just how it is. Hopefully it'll only happen once, though. Yeah.
Spend that 20 minutes making sure your router's set and all that stuff. And then an hour lockout, that's pretty drastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel so bad for people that have a lousy internet connection and just kind of, aren't the ones that are abusing it, but actually are, losing out because their internet sucks. But
right,
time to upgrade that internet.
Yep. So there was a game update 7.2a. Included in this is actually the PvP season progression no longer resetting after being logged out for at least an hour. And so that was the thing that happened right after 7.2. But 7.2a has also come out. It increased the weekly cap of conquest comms and daily resource matrices from 1,500 all the way up to 2,500, which is great. It wouldn't have changed too much for me, although I did cap out for the daily resource matrices. I would have had a few more, but not too many. And I'm not sure if I had a bigger cap at how much more I would have done, because the way I play, I can only do so many dailies, and it's like, okay, I'm done with dailies. Yeah. Like, I've done these dailies a lot of times in this game. It's like I don't want to do them, I don't want to really go nuts on these things. Let's see. Bantha Mojito's asking, mission tracking area in UI also had a bug where it doesn't display the usual list of unfinished missions. Was that fixed? Tracked missions still in your mission menu. Interesting. Toggling track and untrack seem to fix the display in the UI. I haven't actually had that issue. I've pretty much had the missions that I expected to be up there. And it's not mentioning it as a 7.2a bug fix, so I'm not sure what the deal is with that, Bantha Mojito, but thank you for bringing it up. Let's see, what else is brought up, though? Let's see, the players no longer receive the error message telling them the mission log is too full when attempting to complete Ruins of Null Flashpoint. That's nice. Let's see. Thursian Mender's weapons can now be purchased from the PvP upgrade vendors as intended, or as expected. I guess it's kind of the same thing. The Thursian Targeter's weapons are now only unlocking the corresponding upgrades in the PvP upgrade vendors' inventory. Yeah, so there's some sort of little bug there. And there's now a visual effect on the following weapons: Family of the First Seed Lightsaber and Family of the First Seed Dual Saber. Yep. And let's see.
I didn't know they had effects on them.
Yeah. The following crates no longer reward implants: Elite Decurion Upgrade Cache, Supreme Decurion Upgrade Cache, Ricotta Upgrade, Tianese, Calumny, and Thresian Upgrade Caches. So I guess, which is probably a good thing, because usually you're going to go to the implant vendor to get the special ones that actually have the your special buffs for your class. You're not going to even want to have the regular implants typically. Nope. So that's kind of nice that they got rid of that. Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Yeah. Something else that's been showing up in the forums, and it's also happened to me in this case, is that the welcome window, the big one that shows Galactic Seasons and the new PvP track, and the sale of the day and some of the other stuff. Yeah, and and then you can sort of minimize it. It hangs out right underneath the little bar that you can plus and minus it on, but in my case, it got moved over to the middle of the screen, and then there's no way to move it. I have to minimize it. I can't, it has to go away because it's taking up the middle of my screen. Other people are having,
that happened to Kitty.
Yeah, and other people are having basically the same problem, only in at least a couple instances apparently worse, where part of it is unclickable, some of it's off the screen, so you can't even click on it if you need to. So hopefully, that would suck if you couldn't get into your seasons or whatever.
Is it still?
I haven't been having
an issue with it
today. Yeah. So yeah, it hasn't been that wasn't part of 7.2a either apparently. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but they are clearly aware of it though, because it's been mentioned a few times on the forums and so on.
Right.
But yeah, so obviously bugs still happen.
Bugs still happening.
And exactly, Kitty. Yeah, exactly. I just minimize it as well. So. And
yeah,
she opens the
on
Galactic Seasons menu a different way, which makes sense because you can kind of get there from other screens. So that makes sense. There's a couple of really cool things, and this is, to me, the most interesting. There's a new PTS, but not for new content, but the old Star Wars: The Old Republic in 64-bit. Very cool. So
very interesting.
Because of, it came out in 2011, the world was basically transferred from 32 to 64-bit around that time. Like, they even say like the last full 32-bit processor was sold in 2010, which was like, a year before. But of course they were working on SWTOR for years before 2011 hit.
Yeah.
Because of that. And of course, and I'm kind of talking out of turn because it's not like I'm not a dev, and nor was I there at the time. But in general, just knowing about MMOs always have to sort of be very careful about making sure that the game is available to like a wide variety of people. It can't just be the hardcore gamers, with the latest rigs who can play the game. It's a different mindset from like, the latest greatest shooter that has to always have, 180 frames per second at the highest graphical settings or better or whatever. MMOs are based on long-term gaming, long-term audiences, and therefore making those audiences as broad as possible. So they find other ways to make the game look good. And in SWTOR, like WoW, like most other MMOs, they use their artistic style to make the game look better. Because like if you're just looking at old 32-bit games, you're definitely going back a big step. But when you have a certain art style that you can use to make things look better and make things look like they're part of the SWTOR world, you stop noticing. You don't really notice that it's the fact that it's still in 32-bit. Because it all fits within the world, it all flows really well, and it all looks good. I'm really excited to see how it will look different. I wish my hard drive had more space because I'm not sure I can even do the PTS at this point. But I'm very excited for this to happen.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I'm very interested.
Right. Obviously, everyone who has a computer that's less than 10 years old or less than 12 or 13 years old has a 64-bit processor anyway. So it shouldn't really, this shouldn't really, minimize the amount of people who can play the game. So what they did is, though, they put it on the PTS, and at least what I saw on the forums, like some people were having trouble getting in and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how much actual information is actually out there about people successfully getting in and seeing what it looks like. I'm sure it's happening soon, but the show goes out when the show goes out. But I am excited to see it.
Me too.
Yeah. So they did put out an article as well as the PTS. Why make the move to 64-bit? Star Wars: The Old Republic was initially released in 32-bit on the game client in order to run on the widest variety of PCs available at the time. A decade later, 32-bit PCs are much less common. The last 32-bit PC processor was released in 2010. The first advantage of moving to 64-bit code is memory. With 64 bits, players can use more memory and aren't limited to 4 gig per process. This limit applies to the game client itself and restricts things like how much content can be placed in each area. That ties into the limits that our tools have, because they're based on the same code. SWTOR has 10 years of content in it. Planets, characters, conversations, missions, systems, NPCs, etc. The migration over to 64-bit removes that limit and will help us streamline the process of building compelling content for years to come. Yeah. Additionally, we are future-proofing. With each new generation of Windows PCs, 32-bit support is slowly disappearing. Moving to 64-bit will help keep the game running smoothly by making sure it is running in the preferred mode for the hardware. What should players expect to see differently on the PTS? We're releasing the content that is included in Game Update 7.2. Ideally, there should be no difference in the player experience in terms of playability. In other words, that's like their main goal, is to make sure that if you're playing it, you can play it and it'll play essentially the same as it would on the live server. We want to verify that the game still works the same as it did previously. What feedback are we looking for? Please be on the lookout for crashes or anything that seems different. There are thousands of permutations of processor, memory, graphics cards, and etc. We're especially on the hunt for issues that show up with specific configurations. Oh God, I can only imagine. Because like we've seen that over the years, like in like the patch notes, sometimes it'll be really weird specific ones, like, you know, like this one graphics card that if you have the, you know,
right, if
you have the graphics card -D, you know, fixed an issue where you couldn't play the game. It's like, oh my God, amazing that they can even figure this stuff out and like keep it all, you know, from going kaflooey. So we are aware of a known issue currently with trees and foliage, as they will look broken or be completely invisible. So there you go. Upgrades are being made with the modeling software that builds these environment assets, which is why they will not appear as functional during this phase of testing. We encourage all feedback and reports to be submitted in our PTS subforums for details on how to access the PTS. And then there's a link, and it's also, you know, it's on the show notes too, but you'd probably better to go in SWTOR in this case. Yeah. This is a huge stride forward in our monetization efforts, and we cannot wait to begin this new journey with all of our players.
That is so
And the PTS is in English only. They also mentioned that.
This is very exciting.
Very exciting, because, you know, like to me, it's like it almost doesn't. It's almost immaterial if it doesn't change how it looks or even improve how it looks. I mean, I'm kind of hoping that at least in some things it might improve how it looks, or maybe the shadows will be more robust or something. But just the fact that, you know, this is not the sort of undertaking you do unless you're planning for the future. Like they said, this is future proofing. You don't do this for, you know, you wouldn't do this for like a game where you're expecting to make the next Madden the next year and let the old Madden die, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, or FIFA or any of those. Like, this is the sort of thing with a game that you're expecting to be around a long time. So that's the exciting part for me. Now, of course, yes, I hope that the game will look a little better at the end of it all anyway. It'll also be interesting to see, like, maybe they can't really improve the old game, but maybe like the future, you know, drops will be, you know, higher res or look cooler in some way, you know, better lighting effects or shadows or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they're able to do with it. I'm amazed that they're able to do this at all.
Yeah. Because I didn't even think of this being a thing.
I didn't think of this as being a thing either. This is amazing. Yeah. Apparently it's been a thing for quite some time, because Jackie Ko had a tweet that she basically said, yeah, and now that the PTS for the 64-bit is out, I'm going to go lie down for a while.
They've been busy.
Yeah, this is wild. I'm sure it's one of those things that must have been going for a long time, and it's just like it finally caught up to where it's like, okay, we can do it. Let's do it for this one, and then now it's out.
Definitely that not is crazy. Toggle flip, you know.
No,
it's just like, all right, there we go.
Now, of course, you know, it's still based on the Hero engine. That's not going away. That can't go away, because there's no way to port that easily to any other engine. You know, the Hero engine is what it is, but they've done amazing things with it over the years.
Yeah,
it's nothing like the original Hero engine would have been, you know, back then. But still, I'm excited to see what 64-bit can bring. So there we go.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And they did it on their 11th year anniversary. So 11 years with Star Wars The Old Republic. Amazing.
That's so great. It really kind of just like you said, you know, the future proofing. They wouldn't do that if they weren't planning on being around for a while. And that takes a load off my toad, because
exactly.
I want the game to continue for a long, long time.
Absolutely. And they've been doing other future proofing stuff too that they've talked about. Like they've talked about how, like, they're part of the reason they're working on the UI is to sort of future proof it and make it work for the future. They've also talked about, I think it's like a year or two ago, they were talking about how their internal tools, they've been upgrading all of those.
Exactly.
So that they work better for the future. And this, I'm sure the 64-bit was part of that too.
Yeah.
Not that they mentioned it at the time, but it would just make sense. But also, like, things like that, they've been doing future proofing for quite some time now, and this is just part of that process.
It's great.
But anyway, so Keith Koenig did put out, and the SWTOR team did put out something on the 11th anniversary. Every year that passes, I'm amazed by the work that's gone into Star Wars: The Old Republic. Today we hit our 11-year anniversary, and I've been reflecting on everything that transpired throughout the year. The updates, team changes, meetings, challenges, forums, live streams, and more come to mind. At the beginning of 2022, we launched our 8th expansion. We took the time needed to overcome unforeseen obstacles, polish and test the content to ensure it'll be enjoyable for players. There was a lot of effort, love, and care that went into Legacy of the Sith, and just as much going into the most recent and future updates. A lot of changes happened this year, and many times the unknown can be intimidating and scary, but the SWTOR team was able to adapt and truly strive forward with meaning and purpose. We took the time to focus on what was good and what was working for us, while also acknowledging what could be improved on and what we could move forward and upward. Now we're on the heels of the launch of 7.2. I'm thrilled to see all of you enjoying the new planet, the new Mandalorian storyline, and the daily area. I'm right there with you in celebrating the amazing UI updates and quality of life changes that were included in this update. I even see quite a few of you making your way through the PvP reward track. Showdown on Runic is a fun update, and it brings me great joy to see our players experiencing all the content in it. On top of creating content, we made huge strides from a technical standpoint. We've been talking about modernization efforts for some time, and now players are able to see some of this on the front end. We've updated our forums, that's true, we forgot about the forums, and game launcher with new tech, and are in the midst of bringing the game to 64-bit, and have been successful in testing content on servers hosted in the cloud. That's cool. I wasn't actually aware of that.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
Did they mention that before? I don't remember it.
I don't know.
Cool.
I didn't even know servers could be in the cloud.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? This is an initiative that we've been working for the better part of a year, and we're now in a position to talk about it. The last few rounds of testing on the public test server have been done on AWS. Current testing is proving to be successful, and we look forward to the next steps. So moving servers entirely to the cloud in the near future will enable us to improve the game experience for our players and create opportunities to increase the player base over time. All these initiatives are to lay the groundwork for even more to come. I wonder why that is.
I have no idea.
Does it mean that like you'll have a lower ping, like almost no matter where you are? Is that how the cloud is working? I don't know.
That's how I would assume it would work.
And Kitty Treats is letting us know that the AWS is Amazon Web Services, so that they're going with one of the big boys.
That's very interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah.
That's another a new thing that's more modern.
Yeah. Mikey says it'll also allow them to keep the game going while patching, because they can patch some instances while running another. It should reduce latency across the world. That's pretty cool. Because of course, because Tio was one of the original folks, who did the OotiniCast. We still have lots of folks from Australia and New Zealand who play the game, and I'm sure they'd be thrilled to have a lower ping.
Yeah.
So, they were using the West Coast servers. That's one of the reasons that we chose the one that we did originally. But now there's not really a West Coast server anymore. They're all located on the East Coast, even though when you go into the game, it uses West Coast time. But technically the server is on the East Coast, and it increased the ping for me, and I'm sure for everyone who is using that pretty much, unless you happen to be on the East Coast and we're going to the West Coast for other reasons, like friends who were playing over there or whatever. Anyway, he continues, a bit of a sneak peek into the future. Eric and the design leads have been working together to build upon, and in some areas rebuild, internal processes and plans that impact the cadence of content. Take it from me that game development is more than putting pieces of code together and then pushing it live. Building, testing, and polishing take time, and the plans this team is putting together are coming to fruition, beginning with 7.2. We'll have more to share and what all of this looks like early next year.
It's exciting.
Yeah. In closing, here are some anniversary specials you can enjoy. Double XP event begins today, so it is, and that really does mean today. This came out today, and will run until December 27th, so it's a week. 50% off pets and companions from now until December 27th. 50% off toys and flair from December 28th until January 4th, and then 50% off all collections from now until January 1st. So the collection sale is now until January 1st. So, but also, pets and companions from now to the 27th. Toys and flair will be 28th and 4th. So if there's something that, you haven't gotten unlocked, but you want to, there's a lot of sales there. And a reminder for the following: the character transfer sale is currently active, will run through January 9th, 2023. Life Day is going until January 10th, 2023. And then the Coruscant and Ka City strongholds are discounted to 11 credits because it's the 11th anniversary, down from 5,000 until the next game update. Thank you for coming on this journey with us, and thank you for playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. Stay safe and stay healthy, and may the Force be with you. So thank you, Keith.
Yeah, thank you, Keith.
Lots of great stuff. That's pretty amazing. Yeah. So we're getting cloud, SWTOR in the cloud.
That's great.
It's gonna be 64-bit, and that's all amazing. So
right?
I'm sure on the next show we'll have to keep an eye out and see what people are saying about how it looks and stuff like that. Let's see. And we did get one bit of mail from DL Smoothwolf, so I'll read that out. And he goes, Nexu the Pink, never mind. Hi, OotiniCast, DL Smoothwolf here, reporting from an undisclosed location, just making sure communications are not being jammed or monitored. But more importantly, my tip of the week is to celebrate Life Day with family and friends in real life and virtual, and to prepare for this joyous holiday festivity. You need a few things. Life Day robes. I still need the animated ones. Life Day snowball cannon and snowball bomb, but I have both of those. And I actually don't know the third one, but I'm hoping it has something to do with singing Wookiees or decorations. Just wanted to say thank you to Chill Deck and KittyKissz for knighting me as an official Ootini, and all the awesome and exciting adventures we had throughout the year, and hope that 2023 will be brighter and happier with you guys leading the pack. Have a very Merry Christmas and a joyous and Happy New Year. Your friend, DL Smoothwolf. And P.S. I would like to personally have a moment of silence for those who lost family and friends throughout the years. And there's certainly been some of those. Thank you, Wolf. All right. Zam Zam just raided us. We're kind of like right on the tail end of the show, but we do appreciate the raid. How you doing, Zam Zam? Gosh, here on the 11th anniversary of SWTOR, thanks for coming. So, Kitty, go and let us know a little bit more about your Christmas Day stream.
Okay, so the Christmas Day stream is, of course, going to be on the 25th of December. Which is Sunday. We will be starting at 7 a.m. Pacific time, and we will be going till 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to be fun. We want to encourage people to get some food, because we're probably going to eat on the stream, so you're probably going to want to have some food too. What else? We're going to be doing a bunch of giveaways. We're going to have a dance party in my newly Life Day decorated stronghold on Alderaan.
Nice.
What else are we going to do, babe? We're going to do a parade on Fleet. So we're going to get a bunch of people together, and we're all going to jump on our Life Day-iest mounts, go into slow mode, and just do some circles.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's going to be really fun. So come along. If you don't have anywhere to go, we do this because for a long time I didn't have anywhere to go, and I would just make it a day to play whatever games I wanted to play with friends that also didn't have anywhere to go.
Right.
So we're continuing that tradition by inviting anyone that doesn't have anywhere to go, or doesn't have anywhere to be, or just has some time, or just wants to hang out, to come and spend Christmas Day with us. And
that's great.
Enjoy life. Virtually.
Virtually, exactly. And I assume you'll do the usual for these long streams where you give out codes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're going to be giving out codes. Kitty and I have been stockpiling a bunch of in-game gifts. So We're going to do like a grab bag where we're going to pick someone and be like, all right, trade. And then boop, boop, drop some stuff in your... You don't know what it's going to be. We don't know what it's going to be. We're just going to randomly grab stuff and just start giving it to people. So come and hang out.
That actually sounds fun.
Yeah, we're going to make a roast, and so the house is going to smell super good.
Ooh.
It's it's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that's excellent.
Forward to it. And of course, Chill, you're welcome to come and hang out.
Oh, cool. I'd love to.
Anything.
Well, we'll have to. It'll depend on the timing, but I'll have to check I'll check things out. Okay. I'll get back with you on that.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, and so congratulations again on your upcoming nuptials. So we can let the Zamzam folks know that too. So do you have a date or even a hint of a date yet? Do you know roughly when you're going to do it?
We have no idea.
Okay, so it could be it could be a whirlwind that you do tomorrow, or it could be 3 years from now.
We are going to be doing something. I don't think we're going to have like a wedding. We don't either of us want a wedding. We're probably just going to do the courthouse thing. But we are going to do an in-game thing. We haven't decided if we're actually going to do the gamer in-game wedding. Mm-hmm. But we are going to have like a big party at some point. So we'll be giving that information out as soon as we know. But yeah.
Cool.
Be fun. We want to include all the people, all of our wonderful community. Yeah.
And Black Cloud Gaming says, pick a date that's easy to remember.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. Not a bad idea, actually.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else, Kitty?
That's all I can think of, Chill.
Okay, then that's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satil Shan server, or in our
Utini Rage
Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast or Mastodon @OotiniCast@mastodon.world. You can find contact details for us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly on Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, streaming at twitch.tv/OotiniCast. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. Thank you to the chat room.
Thank you, chat.
And
have a wonderful holiday. Be safe out there.
Absolutely. And we'll see you next show. All right. And Kitty, do you have one that we should raid?
Yeah, there's EKSYS_.
Okay. Let me see if I can find that.
Looks like she's popping off.
All right, EKSYS_. And thank you to the Zamzam, of course. Let's see. Hang on a second.
Thank you, Zamzam. Zamzam and I go back and forth trying to raid each other right before I'm leaving or something.
I see. Yep. Excess, I assume, is pronunciation. Here we go.
All right. Bye, you guys. Thanks again.
Yep.
We will see you next year.
Yeah, exactly. This is the last OotiniCast of the year, so have a good holiday season. Here we go. Okay, I guess I'll go over there to say hi real quick.
Yeah, I'll say hi too.
Gosh, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, guys. Welcome, raiders. How was the stream? Hi, KittyKissz. How are you? It's very nice of you guys.
All right, I'm gonna go over here, stopping the stream, stopping the recording.